Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I am not okay.
Yeah.
Every day we deal with inside and outside thoughts. Outside thoughts are messages that we receive from friends, family, and social media. And inside thoughts are messages that begin and live in our own inner worlds. At some point, we've all dealt with annoying, pestering ideas that show up without warning and just won't leave us alone. These are called intrusive thoughts. And despite how common they are, we all want a way to banish them from our minds. But what if I told you that you can learn how to deal with intrusive thoughts through the Venom movies? Rise up, GG Nation, because it's time for Guidance Guy Friday, your weekly guidance lesson from your internet school counselor. And today, we're diving into the world of Spider-Man's side characters to see how we can finally gain control over something that, like the Venom symbiote, seems to have a life of its own. Let's go! It's guidance time.
I am Venom, and you are mine.
All thoughts are not created equal. For this video, I'm gonna say that there are three types of thoughts: flyby thoughts, treasure thoughts, and bubblegum thoughts. Flyby thoughts are like planes. They'll fly over you, you think about it for a sec, and then it's gone. You know those random thoughts that just pop in your head and then you never think about them ever again? That's a flyby thought. Next up are what I call treasure thoughts. Treasure thoughts are ideas you have, but you bury them in order to bring them back up when you need them. Memories or ideas that you want to save for later are treasure thoughts. And lastly, bubblegum thoughts. These little buggers are thoughts that get into your head, but they're sticky and hard to get rid of. That's what intrusive thoughts are. Thoughts that can get stuck in your head and take a lot of time and effort to remove. And Eddie Brock understands the struggle. Venom bonded to him and stuck by him even when Eddie wanted nothing to do with the goopy alien. Now you may be wondering, where do intrusive thoughts even come from? Like every other thought that we have, they come from our own minds. And intrusive thoughts are random, but they can also be really dark, go against everything you are as a person, and frankly, may not even make sense sometimes. Now, our brains are amazing. They can store information in ways that computers only wish they could, and in a lot of ways are responsible for us being alive right now. Our minds create thousands of thoughts every single day, but not every thought is actually true. Because as it turns out, our bubblegum thoughts, those intrusive thoughts, most of the time are not based in reality. They may be thoughts about things that are not possible, not likely, or even not true. For example, when we have anxious thoughts about the worst thing that could possibly happen to us, they almost never happen. Or that thought to attack someone that was rude to you, most of us don't follow through on those thoughts because we know it wouldn't be the best choice for us to make. And Eddie has that same struggle with Venom. The symbiote will constantly tell Ed that he wants to do the wildest things, like biting people's heads off. And as it turns out, this is something Eddie doesn't want to do. But as the first movie goes on, Ed is able to understand that he doesn't have to do everything that Venom says, and that sometimes his little friend is just wilding out. And it's the same thing for us. We don't have to do everything our brains tell us to do, just like how not everything our brains tell us is 100% truth. And Eddie over time becomes able to control Venom and not just nom-nom on every person in sight. So how can we get to that point?
I don't like you.
Let me eat him.
You do not deserve nice things.
Throughout the Venom movies, we see Eddie Brock go from struggling to handle being the host of an utterly unhinged alien to by the end of it seeing that same unhinged alien as his best friend. Can we have that same relationship with our brains? Absolutely. But just like with any relationship, it's gonna take time and work. And the first step to controlling intrusive thoughts is to question your brain. Do you know what would have happened if Eddie just did whatever told him to do? He would have turned into Carnage. In Venom 2, Cletus Cassidy, the man that bonded with the Carnage symbiote, never actually said no to what Carnage wanted. And as a result, a lot of people got hurt, or worse. So whenever you get that random bubblegum thought, ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it real? Checking in with your brain to see if what it's saying is even logical is a huge step in getting rid of intrusive thoughts. Because if you can determine that your mind is wilding out, then you know you don't have to take it seriously when it's acting like that. Going back to the films, Eddie is able to shut down Venom when he wants to do something out of pocket, like eating some rando's head. This then leads to the next action: replace the thought. To those who struggle with bubblegum thoughts, just telling your brain to shut up or thinking that the thought will just go away often isn't enough. Shoot, I fall for this sometimes. I get rid of one annoying thought only for another one to take its place. So what we need to do is replace that thought with another one. And once you've switched out the idea, act on the replacement thought. And how that will look will depend on the situation. For example, if you feel like your friend is giving you the cold shoulder and ignoring you, your intrusive thought might be thinking that your friend hates you and wants nothing to do with you. First, ask yourself if that thought is real. Do you have any actual proof that your friend hates you? Did they say or do something to you? And don't go off of vibes or gut feelings, because guess where those gut feelings and vibes come from? the brain. And if you don't have any real proof, then replace that thought with, I'm going to talk to my friend and get to the truth. Then do that, and ask for help if you need it. Or say your thought is, I'm gonna fail this test / class. I mean, at this point in the year, probably not, but remember this for next year, okay? Ask yourself if the thought is real. Is this what's gonna happen for sure? These kinds of thoughts hit us most during or after a test, or in a class that we're not great at or we just don't like. When talking about a test, we don't know the result until we get it, so there's always a chance. If you get this thought before the test, replace that thought with, I will study for the test, and then go do the thing. Now, if it's during a test, replace that thought with, I will do my best, and then use the strats your teacher taught you. This will help you turn that bubblegum thought into a flyby thought. It's there, and then it's gone. And yes, Brock did this too. So to explain, the reason why Venom wants to go all Pac-Man on people's heads is because he needs brains for food, like a zombie. But instead of letting literal heads roll or Venom starving to death, Brock replaces the need for brains by letting Venom go after chickens around the city and then later on eating on bad guys who had it coming. And by telling your brain what it is and is not okay to think about, those intrusive thoughts will become less sticky. And when you keep following these steps as those thoughts come up, it will become easier to shut them down, replace them, and act on better thoughts. So let's say you do that. You question, replace, and act over and over again. What happens next?
We are Venom.
I'm gonna get right to it. Eddie didn't gain control over Venom in the first movie. By the end of the first film, he's just been able to tolerate this crazy alien who's squatting in his apartment. It wasn't until the end of the second adventure, after a dramatic breakup between the two, that they truly started to understand each other. But in The Last Dance, we see them working together and getting along. One scene, they're wrecking bad guys and saving lives. The next, they're hanging out and chilling. And as odd as it sounds, we can have that same relationship with our brains. For those of us who struggle with intrusive thoughts, sometimes we feel like we're at battle with our own minds. But just like how Eddie and Venom live in harmony with each other, we can also coexist with our brains. Because at the end of the day, our mind's goal is to help us survive. And part of that job is to analyze and forecast what dangers might hit us. But just like we discussed earlier, just because our brains are telling us something doesn't make it true. If we check if our thoughts are logical, and if they're not, replace that thought with a plan and then act on it, not only will our brains get the message that our fear is unfounded, the mind will start to rewire itself to eventually not even send that thought to you in the first place. And again, this isn't gonna happen overnight. You'll need to do this over and over again, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And you'll see those intrusive bubblegum thoughts disappear and be replaced with positive thoughts based in facts. While doing this, there will be good days and bad days, but if you keep trying, it will get better. You will get better. In each story of the Venom movies, we see the lethal protector get stronger, but also smarter and better able to take on the madness that life throws at them. And if that can happen to an alien-human hybrid fusion, I believe that you can go even further. Hold up, now don't go anywhere just yet. This may have been the last ZGF until fall, but when school's out, the guidance guy is on. I have some big projects coming down the pipe throughout the summer months, and the only way to know when they drop is to do the YouTube thing. Sling that subscribe button, like this video, and make sure your notifications are on so that you're ready. And if you're still in a superhero movie mood, come check out my video on the Thunderbolts and see how they can help you find direction in your life. See you there! Guidance guy out.